Was down the glen one Easter morn to a city fair.
Do we need another song?
Those arrow blinds
Do we need
of
our history?
marching men,
Do we need our
squadrons
history?
pass
Do we
me
need our
by.
market? Yes! Do we need our heritage?
I'd like to thank you on behalf of the Save Moore Street campaign and the Save Moore Street from Demolition campaign for coming today. The street has been raging for over 16 years now, with many groups and individuals playing a significant role. The battle has taken many twists and turns, even more so in the last 7 months, with occupations, citizens' injunctions and the historic and significant High Court ruling deeming all of Moore Street a battle site monument. As of last Wednesday, builders from Lissadell returned to Moore Street to commence essential repair works that was deemed by the court on buildings 14 to 17.
James Connolly made some profound statements. One comes to mind. He said, "A man only succeeds to the extent in which he believes." And I say the same for the country. Those men and women of 1916 believed the greater battle was for our own identity, from slumbering slave to awakened citizens. That liberation was a natural burning desire in every full-blooded, freedom-loving human being.
No pipe did hum, no battle drum, it sounded straight to the Angels band, or the Liffey swell, rang out all the flag he knew.
Bear this in mind. Successive Irish administrations did not want Kilmaine in prison to survive. Right? A consortium of unpaid volunteers over many years managed to convince, by force of their actions, by taking the initiative, the state to become involved. And it is now one of the major tourist attractions in Dublin.
Beyond Moore Street itself, this battle is symbolic of so much what's playing out across the city. We should ask ourselves, who controls the city?
Developers treated the city like Lego blocks for the rich. Profiteers creating the conditions of a housing crisis in the city, which we're suffering with today. We witnessed the disgraceful neglect of the Croppies Acre site, which commemorates the rebels of 1798. Here though, what we have is people taking control of the direction the city is going in.
This doesn't have to be done for money anyway. It's intrinsically beneficial to be done for its own right. But if people are saying that there's no potential benefit from saving all of Moore Street and developing Revolutionary Quarter, they are wrong.
It is time. It is time to earn that fate and stop the native and foreign vultures picking over the bones of the last of our children's inheritance.
What we demand a full independent inspection of the entire battlefield site and the findings made public. We demand essential repair work to be carried out on the entire site, not just buildings 14 to 17. We demand that all these works be supervised by an independent restoration expert and be open to public scrutiny. The Save Moore Street campaign will be sending a clear and consistent message to Hammersons and Simon Betty that Moore Street will not be another shopping centre nor a hotel, and will not turn into another cash cow for greedy investment companies.
Never! Never! Never!
In my lifetime, the environs of Temple Bar, which may not exactly be Nirvana these days, were somewhat hellish. It was dangerous, desolate, earmarked for a massive bus station no one needed, and certainly didn't need there. And now what is it? At least it's a place where people can live, where people can work, and people can visit. That too has succeeded despite successive administrations.
This is a place of enormous historical significance, and that cannot be denied. The National Museum has proclaimed Moore Street a theatre of conflict and the most important historic site in modern Irish history.
At the moment, the most contentious and significant game in play is the Revolutionary Quarter. And if anyone asks you, who's curious, but why would you stand in the way of commercial development in a recession that has by no means evaporated and may not evaporate for some years, you can tell them, because it's the right thing to do anyway. And there happens to be a business dividend for those in this environment, all to the better. In all likelihood, the long-term beneficiaries of this will be the Irish tax exchequer.
It is time we followed the example of our freedom fighters. They faced down their adversaries of their day and made history for tomorrow. Today, It is our time, and the Moore Street battle site represents the rebirth of a nation.
Some historians and architects have disgraced themselves by trying to play down the significance of the street. Much has been written, quite rightly, about the architectural importance of Moore Street, but streets aren't just bricks and mortar. The street also has character. In 1988, Dublin Corporation put up a statue to a fictional street trader who never walked the earth, Molly Malone. But a real-life equivalent is found on Moore Street. There are people on that street who were there for decades and whose families were there before them. There are also people on that street from right across the world. Poles, Brazilians, Nigerians, Chinese traders, they all contribute to Moore Street. They are all part of it as well. And they are certainly more welcome than another shopping centre in this city. Moore Street today embodies the best internationalism in this city. What is the internationalism of a shopping centre? Only a McDonald's and a Starbucks. We should remember in 1916, when the rebels moved through that terrace of houses, there were strange accents there too. Men from Salford in Scotland in the ranks of the Kimmage garrison.
People who represented all walks of Irish life, but all progressive forces in our society, were right in 1916, and their descendants are right in 2016. When, under enormous military pressure from an implacable imperialist enemy that was quite prepared to use 18-pounder cannons and naval guns to deluge his entire environment, that it resorted to the indiscriminate use of heavy machine guns from various positions, that were using snipers from the heights of a nearby college I won't name, from the Rotunda Hospital for Christ's sake, from Tara Street Fire Station, who were deluging the people of the city, rebel and civilian alike, with lead, with explosive shells. When this became untenable, the advance guard led by the O'Rahilly and the rear guard headed up by Patrick Pearse evacuated to Moore Street and invested the entire terrace. This is the headquarters unit of the Irish Republic. At that point in time, every other battalion headquarters within Dublin was extant because the British could not or would not overrun them, which is an enormous testament to people who had hoped to hold out for 48 hours. After 6 days of the Republic, the reluctant decision was taken that the political point had been made that Ireland had indeed taken its place again amongst the nations of the earth. And that decision was taken in Moore Street. Arising from that, we had the de-acceleration, I suppose, the standing down of the fighting forces to fight another day. Don't let anyone tell you about mandates. The people who saved Kilmaine and prison had no mandate. They are now being favoured as those who have gifted the state an important tourist asset.
Not one hammer, not one tool should be raised on that street without proper and independent observation. Let our slogan be, no more wood keys. During the construction of the civic offices, the site was occupied by protesters, much like Moore Street was in recent times. And the great writer James Plunkett, who gave us Strumpet City, told a journalist then that by destroying Wood Quay, we are making a disgrace of ourselves and our city in front of the world. Well, in defending the heritage of Moore Street, we redeem this city. We must stand by Moore Street in this centenary year and into the future as well.
In conclusion, remember, men in suits are more deadly foe than suits of armour. Thank you.
Twas England Bay, our wild geese go, and small nations might be free. But their lonely graves are Suva's waves on the fringe of the great North Sea. Oh, had they died by Pearse's side, or fought with Cathal Brew, their names we would keep where the Fenians sleep, neath the shroud of the foggy dew. Right proudly high over Dublin town, they hung out the flag of war. It was better to die neath an Irish sky than at Suva or Sudelbar. And from the plains of royal Meath,